Coming up next, a look at the time Nintendo made its longest-running Player 2 #1. Has it been 10 years? To learn more, stick around for the Year of Luigi.
Mario, where are you?
This is GTV, second to none.
It's Luigi time.
Back in 1983, Nintendo created one of their longest-running characters, Luigi. A few others were created around that time, but have faded away. Stanley, Mr. Stevenson, gone. You could argue that other than his brother Mario and maybe Donkey Kong Jr., there is no other playable character still around after 40 years, at least in the Nintendo universe. Speaking of Donkey Kong Jr., this is where I always thought that Luigi got his start. No, it's not official, not canon, but there are two Marios that haul away Donkey Kong at the beginning of the arcade version of Donkey Kong Jr. Who is this supposed to be? Luigi? Which of these two Marios is the real one? I guess the idea of having a second Mario is what sparked the creation of Luigi. Not long after Donkey Kong Jr., Luigi first appeared with his brother Mario in Mario Brothers, a Game & Watch first released on March 14, 1983. Here, Mario and Luigi work at a bottling plant, loading orders onto delivery trucks. Luigi, as well as Mario, don't look anything like you'd expect. Just simple black outlines, kind of like Mr. Game & Watch. However, one illustration of the brothers was printed on the box, with Mario in his standard red and Luigi in green. They don't look too far off from the version of Mario Brothers we all remember better, first released in arcades in the summer of 1983. It was here that the brothers' career track was set in stone. For always and ever afterwards, Mario and Luigi were plumbers. I guess carpentry was too competitive. Mario Brothers came home to the family computer in September 1983. The TV game version is a decent rendition, and considering that it was a fairly new arcade game, pretty amazing. Wrecking Crew was another early game that featured the Mario Brothers. There were arcade and home versions of this one as well, released in '84 and '85. It seems like Mario and Luigi were last-minute additions, because the original arcade flyer shows two characters that look quite different. I guess plumbers can do demo too. As an aside, I've always felt that balloon fight with Mario and Luigi in the game would have been a cool idea, and them not having it a missed opportunity. Ditto Ice Climber. Luigi broke out into mainstream stardom with Super Mario Brothers. The game was great, we all loved it. No need to repeat the same platitudes and bromides you hear everywhere else. Much like the original Mario Brothers and Wrecking Crew, Super Mario Brothers was released in both the arcades and at home. If you were around in those days, you know for a fact this is what drove NES sales. Seeing this amazing game in the arcades, and then to find out you can bring the game home? It truly solidified Nintendo's fortunes in America, propelling them past Atari to reign as the king of gaming in the late 1980s. I would often set up a two-player game, then send Mario off a cliff, just to see Luigi save the day. Thank you, Luigi. By the way, since Super Mario Brothers is the sequel to Mario Brothers, I have always said Super Mario Brothers, because I knew it was a sequel, and emphasizing Super recognizes that. It seems like anyone who wasn't in the know always said Super Mario Brothers, but that's just crazy. Luigi got his first crack at being player 1 in Super Mario Bros. 2, aka The Lost Levels. You could play the entire game with just Luigi right from the start. He even got a little bit of his own personality, as his jumps were much higher than Mario's, while he slips and slides around on the ground, creating an interesting trade-off for easy jumps but awful traction. Not to go too far off the rails again, but what is up with kids these days saying Super Mario Bros? Bros? It says brothers. B-R-O-S period. Don't they teach kids abbreviations in school anymore? I guess the decline of family-owned businesses, where you'd see brothers on the back of a truck, might also contribute to this lack of understanding. The other, Super Mario Bros. 2, aka Super Mario USA, also featured a high-jumping Luigi, with a blue and green color scheme I might add. His design changed a bit, making Luigi taller and a little thinner than Mario. Luigi was back to Player 2 status in Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario World. while being left out of Super Mario Land. Brothers being dropped must have been a blow to Luigi's pride. Was he no longer important, or even necessary? That brings us to the non-Mario Mario games. Back in the old days, Mario is Missing was the one game starring Luigi. It wasn't very fast-paced, more like a combination of Super Mario Bros. And Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, with Luigi traveling the world learning about famous cities and rescuing Mario in the end. There was also a watch game, Luigi's Hammer Throw, which would be a cool remake on the Apple Watch, but that ain't ever happening. These games weren't actually made by Nintendo, just licensed out, so if they really, quote, count is up for debate. If you aren't into historic landmarks or wearing games on your wrist and just want Luigi by the barrel full, Luigi's Mansion has you covered. Released in 2001, the very first GameCube game was different, I'll give you that. Luigi's Mansion has a slow pace that is 180 degrees out of phase with the Super Mario Bros. Series. So it's nice that they tried something unique rather than just recycling old concepts. But it took 18 years for Luigi to star in a proper Nintendo-made game, long after the salad days of Nintendo were over. Who actually had a GameCube? Everyone I have ever met who played games from, say, 2001 to 2006 had a PlayStation 2 and nothing else. I'm not forgetting other games featuring Luigi, Mario Golf, Mario Tennis, Mario Kart, et al. But this is only a half-hour show. Basically, that's the Luigi rundown from 1983 to 2012. All the big-name Mario games had Luigi in them, with only a few side exploits. That all changed in 2013, when the green guy would finally take the spotlight.
出そうだな。これなんか出るんじゃないかなって思ってると、出た！ルイージや。古いお屋敷。嫌だな、これな。
ルイージマンション2。
おいおいおいおいおい、増えてるぞ。
マリオ&ルイージ RPG4 ドリームアドベンチャー。
ピヨーン、その瞬間、ズルー。
Wii U ニュースーパールイージ U。
今年はルイージの年。
At the start of 2013, Nintendo had a lot to look forward to. The Wii U debuted just a few months beforehand. With the new Wii U gamepad, it was possible to replicate the experience of the DS at home on your TV. The machine also used the same classic Wii Remote and had Wii backwards compatibility, while the new Wii U games played in high vision. The marquee game was new Super Mario Bros. U, released day one, which varied depending on your region. In February 2013, Nintendo delivered a Nintendo Direct, declaring 2013 to be the year of Luigi, where Mario's brother would lead the way all year long. Nintendo placed Luigi center stage, replacing Mario in all branding and promotion, in addition to releasing several games for the Wii U and 3DS that had the green guy as the star. Club Nintendo's traditional red coloring scheme would change to green. The offerings would be Luigi-focused, such as a CD soundtrack of Luigi music in Japan, pins, bags, and posters elsewhere in the world. Luigi would make public appearances around the world. The whole year was planned out in stages, month by month, with promotion and release of Luigi's games and events. It gave a feeling of excitement and that you just might kick yourself if you missed out on it by not paying attention. The first of 6 Luigi-centric games was ready to roll in March. Luigi's Mansion 2: Dark Moon for the Nintendo 3DS. The sequel played very much like the original, with Luigi hunting down ghosts with his trusty Poltergust. In Dark Moon, King Boo is up to trouble once again, this time breaking up the Dark Moon and placing each piece in mansions across Evershade Valley. This causes ghosts who were once friendly to turn bad. Professor Egad calls on Luigi to come to the valley and reassemble the Dark Moon. Along the way, Luigi also discovers Mario has been trapped in a painting while King Boo has grander plans, conquering the entire Mushroom Kingdom. With the dual screen of the 3DS, the player always has access to the map and other information. The in-game item that makes this possible is called the Dual Scream and works like the also cleverly titled Game Boy Horror. On top of that, there is a multiplayer mode where 4 people can play together in a special mansion called the Scare Scraper. As you play the game, you might find some references to older Mario and Luigi games in the background, while elements of Dark Moon have been featured in other games made afterwards, and may still be referenced in future games. Since 11 years had gone by since the first mansion, Dark Moon served as a good reminder that Luigi had actually starred in a game of his own before, the perfect way to kick off the year of Luigi. In June, new Super Luigi U was released for the Wii U. What may look like a simple expansion pack for new Super Mario Bros. U is actually a standalone game in its own right. Luigi is the star this time. Mario isn't even in the game. Luigi, or someone who had access to some green paint, even crossed out the brothers on the box. What an insult to Mario. New Super Luigi U features 82 new courses laid over top the original Mario U map, all with a much higher level of difficulty. Luigi's high jumps and slippy controls add to the challenge. There are tons of enemies in the way, all over the place. Oh, and the timer is shortened for most courses, while none of them have a checkpoint flag. If you aren't too keen on Luigi's movements or just want to change it up a little, you can still play as one of 2 toads, or Toten, known as Nabbit in English. This purple guy was an enemy in the original U and now takes the place of Mario with similar controls, although invincible and unable to use power-ups. In a way, the design of the game harks back to Super Mario Bros. 2, which was meant to be extra hard, providing a challenge for those who could pass through the first Super Mario with ease. As I've said before, in Super Mario Bros. 2, Luigi is playable on his own and controls differently than Mario. This ties the concept of the 2 games together nicely. Had the year of Luigi never happened, Nintendo might have just called this game New Super Mario Bros. U for super players. July 2013 saw the release of Mario & Luigi RPG 4 Dream Adventure for the 3DS, known outside of Japan as Mario & Luigi Dream Team. In this entry of the series, Luigi is central to the story and gameplay of the game, whereas before, like oh so many other Mario games out there, he was just hanging out, happy to be invited. The story of the game takes place on Pillow Island, where, after everyone falls asleep, a mysterious figure from Luigi's dream kidnaps Princess Peach and takes her to the dream world. Mario and Luigi work together to rescue her. Since the game takes place in Luigi's dream, the Luigi who joins up with Mario isn't really the real brother. The real Luigi is asleep and on the bottom screen. To control Mario and Luigi on the top screen, you have to perform actions on sleeping Luigi, such as pulling his mustache. Events in the game have Luigi reacting to them, just like someone having a vivid dream for real. Dream Team also featured a unique use of the dual screens by rotating them for a vertical view in some areas. Alongside the new game, Dream Team was bundled with a special 3DS LL in Japan, with dozens of green Luigi silhouettes adorning the outer case and box. While elsewhere, a 3DS XL with a simple gold design of the Mario Brothers was sold as a special edition in the summer of 2013. These 3 standalone games were more than enough to keep Luigi fans happy for a long time, but there was still more to come. On November 21st, 2013, Nintendo released Super Mario 3D World. Hands down, the absolute best Mario game since Super Mario World. In addition to the standard game, a masterpiece in its own right, a special mini-game was featured as part of the year-long Luigi celebration. Luigi Brothers. The game is unlocked by completing the main story, or if you happen to already have new Super Luigi U save data on your Wii U, the game is opened right from the start. Luigi Brothers isn't much more than Mario Brothers, with 2 playable Luigis. But it is a nice touch and just as fun as the original. To differentiate the 2 Luigis, player 1 is blue and green, like arcade Luigi, the way he's supposed to be. Player 2 is green and white like he was on the family computer in NES. I don't know what it is, but every time I play the bonus game in 2-player mode and see Luigi, and Luigi in the coin totals, it always gives me a laugh. It's weird, it looks wrong, but just makes total sense. If you have 3D World on the Switch, Luigi Brothers is there too. Even though the Year of Luigi didn't begin on January 1st, you'd be surprised to find that the event continued on into 2014, and actually went longer than 365 days. In January 2014, Dr. Luigi was released for the Wii U through the Nintendo eShop as an updated version of Dr. Mario, the classic virus-fighting puzzle game. The concept of Dr. Luigi is the same as the original. Connect 4 of the same color to remove the viruses from the screen in hopes of clearing the entire board. A new game mode, Operation L, involves special pills that are L-shaped dropping down that can create combo kills for the viruses. If you can pull off a combo, your opponent will have his or her next capsule change colors, causing havoc. There are also modes similar to the original Dr. Mario from 1990 and the updated Dr. Mario from 2008. 1 year from the start of the Year of Luigi, Shigeru Miyamoto took to Miiverse to announce that the celebration was coming to an end on March 18, 2014. To close out the year, he asked that Luigi fans around the world leave a short note of thanks. Many of these were then posted on the Nintendo homepage to stand for all time as a tribute. Despite the Year of Luigi being officially over, there was still one more game that celebrated the green guy, Super Luigi Brothers. The game is included as part of Famicom Remix 2 and NES Remix 2, released in April 2014, with a unique take on Super Mario Brothers. All of the game's stages are backwards, that is to say, moving right to left, where Luigi controls as he does in Super Mario Bros. 2, high jumps and all. Inspired by a stage in the first remix game, Super Luigi Brothers creates a new challenge that lives up to the name, Remix. The game even has a unique ending that I won't spoil here. It really is worth it for you to try it out and see for yourself. After the Year of Luigi ended, things went back to normal for Nintendo. Things became more red again. Mario Kart 8, released in May 2014, was the first post-Year of Luigi Mario game, followed by Super Mario Maker, Run, and Odyssey in subsequent years. Not to mention all the other franchises we no longer have time to play. Nintendo returned to celebrate the green guy once more. Nintendo declared October 2019 the month of Luigi, to celebrate the release of Luigi's Mansion 3, released, quite fittingly, on Halloween. Beyond this one exception, Luigi hasn't been front and center in the spotlight, but is still around. Featured alongside Mario, always there to give a hand, whether he's in Player 1 mode or 2. Just like he's done for the last 40 years, Luigi is always there to help a brother out.
でかっ。夢の中でマリオとルイージがやりたい放題。任天堂 3DS マリオ&ルイージ RPG4 ドリームアドベンチャー。どや
ー。The Year of Luigi may be long gone, but the memories live on. Traces of the celebration can be found in games Nintendo made that year. In Super Mario 3D World, New Super Luigi U, and Famicom Remix 2, you can see Luigi in the backgrounds of some stages. These icons don't do anything and sometimes appear at random times. Nobody knows exactly how to trigger their appearance in every case, and it is quite possible not all of them have been discovered. This is not a complete list, but just a few that were very cleverly placed. First up, Super Mario 3D World. In World 1-5, Switch Scramble Circus, you can see Luigi walking by in the first mirror of the level. Don't break it right away for a view. In World 2-5, Double Cherry Pass, you can catch Luigi sticking out of the fence on the far right side of the screen at the very end of the stage. In World 3-5, Pipeline Lagoon, you might catch Luigi in the pipe with you, if your timing is just right. In World 4-3, Beep Block Skyway, the LED-style Luigis fill the background. This is probably the easiest sighting, but I had to mention it as this is the best stage of the game, the best BGM of the game, and since 3D World is the greatest 3D Mario game by a mile, this right here is the best of the best. In World 5-2, Tricky Trapeze Theater, you can see a Luigi at the start of the stage, painted on one of the brick towers hidden in the clouds. In World 6-7, Fuzzy Time Mine, you can find Luigi at the end of the stage after burning away the bushes in the corner. In World Bowser 3, Cookie Cogworks, you can see Luigi faintly on the side of the brick wall when using the binoculars. In World Flower 9, Towering Seaside Sunshine, climbing to the top of the tree on the far left side will give you a view of Luigi high in the sky, near the timer in the upper right-hand corner. On top of that, in most world maps, Luigi can be seen coming out of the pipes. So as you're walking around between stages, be sure to stop a while and look around to catch one. Then there are stamp rooms, mini-games, and on the back of Bonsai Bills, too. How did all these Luigis even get in here? Simple. They were let loose in the opening of the game, along with all the items that became scattered about. New Super Luigi U has 83 hidden Luigis, the number referencing 1983, the year Luigi was born. They aren't all 8-bit designs, however, and they aren't triggered in any special way. They all exist just as part of the scenery. Here are a few. In Acorn Plains 5, Piranha Gardens, the hedge sculpture looks just like a modern-day Luigi. In Layer Cake Desert 5, Stone Spike Conveyors, an 8-bit Luigi is found at the top of the screen, near the flagpole. And he's wearing his proper blue and green colors, I might add. In Sparkling Waters 3, Water Spout Sprint, there is an 8-bit Luigi hiding in the waterfall under the red ring. In Frosted Glacier 4, Wadey Waddling, one of the Bonsai Bill cannons has a Luigi mark. In Soda Jungle 6, Sumo Brother Bridge, some of the vines that make up one of the platforms are shaped to form Luigi's profile. In Rock Candy Mines 5, Raising Piranhas, there is a hole in the back of the rock wall that is a cutout of Luigi. In Merengue Clouds, Vanishing Ghost House, the secret exit has a hanging sign where Luigi is facing off against King Boo, an homage to Luigi's Mansion 2, Dark Moon. In Superstar Road 5, under construction, a giant 16-bit Luigi, the one from Super Mario Advance 2, can be seen in the area where the third star coin is found. There is one Luigi in every stage. Can you find them all? Famicom Remix 2, aka NES Remix 2, has a few hidden Luigis as well. Nintendo went so far as to promote these in a series of Finding Luigi short videos in 2014. In Super Mario Bros. 3 Stage 1, Luigi appears in the lower part of the screen in one of the empty card boxes. In Kirby's Adventure, as you fight Meta Knight, Luigi will walk on screen, look around, then leave. In NES Open Tournament Golf, you can see Luigi in the sky, very faintly, but he's there. In Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, when fighting Shadow Link, Luigi, or at least his shadow, is seen on the highest platform on the right side. In Ice Hockey, Luigi skates onto the screen in the top right corner as the challenge starts, only to speed off a few seconds later. While not considered a part of the Year of Luigi, Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker also featured some hidden Luigis, as well as Toads, while Super Mario Odyssey continued the tradition of finding hidden Luigis, this time offering a coin bonus with each one. Who knows what other games will feature that hidden Luigi, an Easter egg that doesn't really do anything, but sure is fun. And I wonder, what are kids 50 years from now going to think when Super Mario Odyssey is re-released on the Super Switch Ultra Pro Advanced DX Lite plus Alpha, and these Luigis are being discovered for the first time, without any explanation or understanding at all?
ピーチは不安だった。いつもはマリオに助けられるのに。ルイージが主役の大冒険。高いジャンプだけど滑る。変なやつも一緒に冒険。 Wii U ニュースーパールイージ U ニュースーパーマリオブラザーズ U をお持ちの方は追加コンテンツでの購入がお得です。
10 years on, I look back at the year of Luigi with a warm fondness. Luigi, and Mario too, were characters that I grew up with from the beginning. It was great for Nintendo to promote one of its oldest heroes. A lot of people consider the 3DS and Wii U era of Nintendo a return to form. Nintendo going back to its roots, remembering what made the company great, and then building on it. Leaving the dark ages of the N64 and GameCube behind. That's up for debate and interpretation, based on how old you are. But from the viewpoint of someone who grew up with, then grew out of, Nintendo, to come back in 2013, nothing felt out of place, even though the times had obviously changed. The Wii U felt like a continuation of that mid-80s excitement in a modern form. Sleek white hardware, entertaining games. Oh, and good graphics. The mantra I've heard about Nintendo since 1985. Nintendo games have good graphics. No crazy controllers, no weird colors. Just Mario and Luigi back once more, doing what they do best. Living in Japan, lo these many decades, I have come to understand the culture a little better. Having a sense that you can only acquire through experience over time. Something Japan does better than anyone else is PR, advertising, and sales. Coordinated in such a way that the whole thing is woven into the fabric of society. In fact, the year of Luigi, while fun, doesn't even stand out against the eternal backdrop of milestones and anniversaries that get promoted here. These raise brand awareness, sure, but are also meant to activate the consumer into participating and having fun, while being turned into a walking billboard yourself. All with the goal of having you give up your money over and over again. I still remember the 25th and 35th anniversary of Super Mario Bros., conveniently bookending the year of Luigi, I might add. Then there are the others for Zelda, Donkey Kong, Metroid, and the list goes on and on. Not to forget there's the whole world beyond Nintendo. Clothes, cars, food, all of it just keeps regenerating every so often to celebrate the passage of time, with the expectation that you also part with some of your money. Some of it doesn't even mark a year that ends in a 0 or 5. 3rd anniversary? 17th anniversary? It happens. If it makes no connection, you just ignore it. But if it sparks a memory, then it's a fun reminder that tells you to stop, take a break, and appreciate some of the things in life you grew up with. To see how far you've come since those early days, and wonder about what the future holds after the anniversary is over. Oh, and spend some more money while you're at it. To bring everything back into focus with so many new things out there that later boomerang around to be promoted as what's old is new again, things have reached a level of customization from a large corporation that is as personal as humanly possible. For the Generation X gamer in 2013, that new Wii U and semi-new 3DS, with Luigi as the face of all of it, everywhere you went, sent the message home that there is a time and place for everything. And now is the time to relive some of the good old days, while catching up with a long-lost friend, seeing what he's up to today.
Mario, where are you?
So if he's Luigi, and he is Luigi, and the game is called Luigi Brothers, then what are their names? Luigi and Luigi?